Hello, and welcome to the 2024 Stationery Favorites video where I've dragged Mom along because she doesn't know what's made this list, and I think it'll be fun.
I'm curious to see.
Yeah.
Because my stationery loves are two. I have two.
I might have raided some stuff from your collection upstairs.
Oh,
we'll
okay.
see if I've grabbed the right things.
All right. Let's see.
Number one, my slip and zip.
This doesn't surprise me
I shouldn't.
at all.
I love this thing. It fits in my purse.
It has no pens in it.
It has no pens in it because
You're just talking
I'm just
about
talking
items.
about it as a product.
Right.
And as a product, I adore it.
Yes.
It is the perfect size for a purse. It comes in a variety of colors.
Slim profile.
Slim profile.
Keeps 4 pens safe and sound.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. No, it's a terrific Galen leather product.
I love it.
All right. Number one.
Number one. You weren't surprised about. Number
No.
two, I don't think you're going to be surprised about either.
I am surprised how much you love it based on your initial reaction when it was offered up as a choice.
Yeah?
So I'm pleasantly surprised that you like it as much as you do.
That is fair. I thought there would be a lot of things I don't use on it, and it's true. I don't use the protractor as a protractor, because when do I need a protractor? Also, brain injury.
Yeah.
But I do use like these shapes if I'm in a meeting for like doodling. I'll trace them out and then I'll fill in the shape. Like
doodling while in a meeting. We can discuss that
comes
off
as
camera.
no surprise either.
We can discuss that off camera. So it's another Galen product, isn't it?
It is. But it's also like one of those things like keeping my hands busy so that I can listen.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah. But
nice weight.
Nice
Is it
weight.
brass?
Brass. It stays where you put it. The blank. Backside's blank. It does have a whole bunch of like it's so scratched. You can tell how much I throw this in my bag.
Yeah.
And it lives in the slip and zip.
Terrific.
Yeah. Number three, I don't think you're going to be surprised by.
A sandpaper eraser.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works brilliantly.
Yeah. Not that I've made one of these videos before, but would be on my video for a number of years. I think this is my second or third sandpaper eraser from Tombow. They used to be really hard to find, and now you can get them everywhere. But I've used them for watercolor. I've used them for fountain pen. They do work better on a heavier paper.
Yeah.
They need...
Well, they need something to work with.
But they're a great product.
All right.
I think I've got like 3 floating around the studio.
What's number 4?
What's number 4, you ask? The Esterbrook blotting paper, which was another thing that at first I went, why do I need this? And clearly...
You need it.
I need it.
Yeah. Blotting paper is such an old school product.
I know. But it was something that I totally didn't understand.
Well, and you wouldn't.
No.
There's no context for generations of people. But until you start using fountain pens,
yeah,
where suddenly if you have an ink that's not absorbing into the paper and you need to turn the page, blotting paper becomes an essential product.
Oh yeah, no, and I use it all the time. Clearly.
Yeah. No, it's great stuff.
It is. And Esterbrook makes it in really fun prints.
They had one that I remember from Scriptus that was ravens.
Yes.
That was beautifully drawn. I don't know who the artist was for the ravens.
It's the same artist that did the Esterbrook calendar this year.
Oh, okay.
I want to say, if I pull this out, yeah, that's her Instagram handle. She's the same artist that did the calendar we all got this year.
She's very talented.
She is super talented. She's super great stuff. Number 5, not going to surprise you.
Coloring dippers.
My favorite swatches. I have many of them. Currently on a tiny carabiner because I've lost my O-ring or binder ring. Sorted by color family. Because how else would you sort them?
No, they're wonderful.
They are. I think currently I've got 5 with inks on them. They're all great.
What I've always been surprised about is how different inks swatch on the coloring paper versus other papers.
I find coloring and MD pretty comparable, so Midori, which is what I use.
And would you say that the way the inks express themselves on coloring is the true expression of the ink?
I don't know, because it's like hard. True expression of the ink is hard because, like, depending on, like, Jane Austen, what's the actual color of Jane Austen? Is the actual color of Jane Austen the color Mont Blanc has on the box, like for most Mont Blanc inks?
Yeah.
Because if so, I don't have a single paper in my collection where it's the color of the box.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
yeah, I don't know.
Is the true color of the ink the color it is on the paper you use it on? In which case, for me, coloring dippers are great because I use MD paper and the colors look almost identical.
What's MD paper?
Midori.
Okay.
It's what the Traveler's inserts are.
Okay.
Or most of the Traveler's inserts. So for me, this is great. Like,
right. Which one is that one?
Sailor Haha.
Okay.
It's what's in your Naviler.
I know. You see an ink swatch and go, oh, I like that. Yeah,
yeah, it's in your pen. All right. The glass pens. In number 6, because I do love them. And I've had this one for a long time. And I got this one because it had a cap.
Right, to protect the nib.
Protect the nib, because I was afraid of dropping an actual glass pen and shattering it. And I have dropped this one. And what I like about this one is that I can replace the nib. Like, it just...
Oh, rather than the pens that are an entire blown...
Yeah. It just screws out.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Where did you find that one?
Amazon.
Amazing.
It's a Moonman dip pen. And so I think I've got 2 spare nibs, which is great. Because I think I've only had to replace the nib in it once. But it means when I go to a pen show, I just throw a spare nib in my bag.
Right. I haven't used either of these.
Have you not?
Nope.
No. And then this is the River City Pen Company holder that I got secondhand, and the Kakamori that I got secondhand.
Yeah. They're beautiful.
And it is stunning. What I think if the holder only fit Kakamori nibs, I wouldn't like it as much. But the fact that it fits number 6 nibs and calligraphy nibs.
Yeah, because it's got the silicone. I don't even know if I can get this out. There
you can. I can't get it out without a rubber glove. Yeah, it's got the vinyl insert.
So you put the Ferris Wheel Press sent you a nib.
Yeah.
And it fits.
I put a size 6 in it. And I've tried a couple different size 6 nibs in it. And because it fits size 6 nibs in it,
it's very flexible.
It's so flexible as a nib holder.
Yep.
Like, it is... I really like it. If it only fit Kakamori nibs, I don't know that I'd like it as much. Whereas...
Is this... Only this is a Kakamori nib, or does Kakamori... Is Kakamori a brand name that makes other nibs?
Kakamori is a brand name. So this is a Kakamori steel.
Okay.
Kakamori makes a brass. Kakamori makes a glass nib. And they also make inks. They've just come up with a fountain pen. Like...
It would be interesting to explore them a little bit more. That could be a 2025 thing.
I think Atlas stocks their inks.
And do all their nibs look like this, or do they make some more traditional-esque nibs?
I think their fountain pen nibs are traditional. Their glass looks sort of similar to this, except it's really, really skinny.
Okay.
It's skinny and it's long.
Okay.
So
not dissimilar to this shape.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's actually, I think it's the same shape, but it's glass.
Okay.
And And then the brass and the antique brass are the same. They just are brass.
And is that like for people who prefer brass?
I think so. I knew I
as
wanted a
opposed
steel
to
one.
Stainless steel.
I knew I wanted one that wouldn't tarnish, like I didn't have to do any extra care of.
Right.
I, wrecked all my calligraphy nibs because I forgot about them when I was cleaning them. # brain injury. I wanted something that I couldn't as easily screw up.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
Now I've completely lost track. What number are we
We're on number 7.
Woohoo.
Which is a good waterproof ink. And
oh, this one's mine.
There's yours. A cheap pen
to
put waterproof ink in.
Yes.
I will say I have waterproof ink also in a not cheap pen, or not as cheap pen. I've got it in the Faber-Castell Neo Slim, but this pen seals really well.
Right.
And it happened to have the nib size I wanted on it. And I figured I could always learn how to clean waterproof ink out of a pen if I ever wanted to ink it with something else.
Fair enough.
But
because I actually would, this is my cheap pen, my entry-level pen.
Yeah.
And it has a fine nib.
Yeah.
And fine is not my favorite.
No. You don't like fines?
No. So I would like to ink up a different pen with the document ink. I'm just concerned about
what?
Wrecking a pen.
That's fair. Yeah, you've got yours in a Kakano. I have mine in a Hongdian. I have Sailor Kirigiro in mine, and you have certified document ink in yours from Octopus. And then I have Octopus in my Faber-Castell, which is a medium nib. But both are solid inks.
Oh, very much so. I've been really, Kari helped me pick out.
I think I'm likely to get more of their document inks.
Mm-hmm.
The Sailor ones are expensive and hard to find.
Whereas we picked this up at Wonder Pens in Toronto.
And they come in like 8 colors.
Yeah. And it seems to be an ink that they regularly have in stock.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, it's a great ink.
All right. We also have a bonus thing because I couldn't clear it off the list, but it doesn't really fit on the list.
Okay.
Which also I don't think will surprise you because you know how much I love them. The Pitt pens. They're a pain. They have to be stored sideways.
But you like them.
But I love them.
There you go.
I love getting to paint with them or draw with them. I love using them to sketch. I have both the large size and the regular size. They come in everything from fine liners to like calligraphy nibs. Most of mine are brushes. They're all India ink. They're so much fun. But they do have to be stored sideways.
Well, if the most awkward thing about them is that they need to be stored sideways, that is, first of all, that explains to me why every time I come down here to your studio, they're sitting on their side, and I always want to sit them back up again. Now that I know that, I'll just leave them alone. Brush pens different from Tombow?
India ink base, so waterproof versus water-based.
Okay. Okay.
So they go down and they stay down. Like they're just, I don't know, I think they're waterproof. Yeah. Aren't they?
I don't know.
Waterproof, yeah. Waterproof, maximum light fast. And unlike Tombow's, because they're Faber-Castell, everything comes with a light fastness rating.
Oh, very good.
So I think almost all of these are 100-year archival in full sunlight. Like, it means, unlike the piece that's in the living room that I did with the Tombos, that's starting to fade a little bit.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Live and learn.
Did I know when I did it that Grandma was going to put it in the living room? No.
No. But it is a lovely piece.
But it is a lovely piece, and I might recreate it in
Light fast.
Light Fast.
I think that would be a great project for you to do for Grandma.
Yeah. So, but also up until we moved desks, there was nowhere to keep them.
Right.
And so I just didn't use them. I loved them.
I didn't actually know they existed.
Because they lived in the back room.
There you go.
Because the thing was, like, every time we did a studio cull, you'd go, "You never use these, do you want to keep them?" And I would go, "Yes." Okay. I love them. But because they have to be stored sideways, they are a bit of a pain. They're fun though.
Yeah.
All right, number 8. After that lovely bonus item.
See, when you said stationery, I was expecting just we were going to be talking about paper.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. Keep going.
I tried to make it a well-rounded video.
All right.
Like all the stationery things I liked.
If you can get it at a stationery store, it
I
belongs
can
in
get it
this
at
video.
a stationery store. It belongs in this video. Waterproof ink and some sort of swatching stamp.
Well, this guy's adorable.
I know. That guy's adorable. Oh.
Turn around this way. Now he's not upside down.
But also, like, just like something basic from Michael's. Which is
clipboard.
Clipboard. Yeah, honestly, sometimes it's a pain to create a template for swatching inks. Like, sometimes you just want something to swatch into, and it's nice to have a solid waterproof ink and a stamp and just be able to do it all.
Well, and I've seen enough Instagram of people swatching their inks, and there are so many different designs. I think every stationery store probably has 2 or 3, at least 2 or 3 really cute stamps that you can use for swatching.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, Wonder Pens probably sells like 60.
I was being conservative.
But waterproof ink is important. Make sure the ink you get is waterproof.
Of course. Yeah.
Like,
otherwise, when you swatch your ink, it will bleed.
Yeah.
Make a mess. And number 10. Is it number 10?
9.
It's number 9.
A notebook system that works for you.
Clearly, yours is Travelers.
Clearly, mine's Travelers. Clearly, I am a Travelers girly.
Yes.
You are not.
Nope.
You use...
I have my own system.
Yeah, you've got your own system.
Yeah.
You do your own thing. I do themed inserts for everything. There's the watercolor video planning one. Here are swatching inserts. Here's the one that lives in my purse that's got the calendar and like my brain dump notebook. Here's our garden planning one and baking, which I haven't done the cover for yet because
it's blank.
I know it's blank and it seems wrong, but I wanted to finish the garden one first. But I love Travelers.
Mm-hmm.
They come in a whole bunch of different papers. You can frequently buy the covers secondhand.
And the covers clean up beautifully with your leather care products.
Yes. And I've got I think 2 videos on tidying up your Travelers with leather care. So these 2 were purchased secondhand. These 2 were purchased from Galen in their second sale. So I haven't bought any of them, quote unquote, new.
Right. Like not full retail price.
Not full retail. And honestly, they're great.
Yep, people who love them.
Yeah.
Kari gave me a Leuchtturm. I'm more about paper.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with the paper. I've said this before in your videos. The paper that we got at the Pelican Hub in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody at Pelican Hubs got the same paper, and it is just gorgeous
And
paper to
I
write on.
hate it.
Really?
I hate it.
Oh, may I have your book?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
As long as I can borrow it every once in a while when I like need that sort
A
of
different paper to swatch
different
on?
paper for like a weird ink comparison. Yeah, you can have my book.
Cool. I very much like that paper. It's apparently not available for sale anywhere. So Kari gave me a Leuchtturm, and it's a very comparable paper to the Pelican paper.
It's 120 GSM. It's the new
Yep.
Leuchtturm stuff. But like what I like about these is that the notebooks are small.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they feel less intimidating. Like by the time I'm done with one, I had to move on to the next thing. And
Yes.
It's just like, okay, I'm done.
Yes, it's not so because the inserts are small.
Yeah.
You can work through one and set it aside, and then you get another one. Whereas the Leuchtturm book I have is at least 1.5 centimeters thick. It's quite a large
I
journal.
think it's 160 pages.
Well, now it's 158 because I tore out one. Teehee. But I did hold off to decide exactly what I wanted to do in it, and it is going to become a gardening journal.
Yeah.
To track what I'm doing here and doing in Toronto.
Yeah. Whereas I just have an insert for everything.
Yeah.
Like everything has its own insert, and that just works really well for me. And I just switch up what's in the gray cover with whatever I'm doing at the time.
I think you're documenting a lot more than I am, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my daytime or my diary that I track family members and what's happening. I keep track of things, but I don't feel the need to document in the way lots of people document things.
Yeah.
It's just not me.
I think I do a lot more of like the video planning on paper.
Oh yeah.
I would say. Like lots of my writing is video planning on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of it on the laptop. But that early like thinking through concepts is all done pen and paper before it moves digital.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I could. And it uses different parts of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And with the brain injury, I think you have more of a compartmentalization process. Like you use this part of your brain, pen and paper.
Yeah.
And once you get it to a certain stage, then you can move digital. And whether it's digital laptop or digital iPad with, and I can't remember what the iPad pencil's called.
Yeah, an Apple Pencil.
An Apple Pencil.
Yeah.
You utilize a lot of different forms of media, whether it's analog or digital, to arrive at a final point.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. No, because like I do write a lot down, but like most of what I'm writing down is not like 90% of what's in the watercolor book currently is like, here's the video I want to make, or here's a list of colors I've already used in videos. After going through the spreadsheets, these are the colors I need to pull for the next part of X.
So it's organizational.
Yeah.
It's like, not just conceptual, it's organizational.
Yeah. So like Gray's part 4 So Mixing Grays Part 4 was all planned using all of those videos have their own spreadsheet. Like
which isn't surprising given how many paints are involved, how many single pigments.
But as soon as I get to a stage that like I'm having to go into the palette and pull stuff, then I need that list physical on a sheet of paper or just as like a single document. And in the case of grays, it's so much easier to have it on a sheet of paper because then I can reference the spreadsheet on my laptop without having it on a document.
When you say sheet of paper, do you mean like having a digital page or having it, you mean a page from your travelers? Yeah.
So there's Grays Part 4.
Okay.
There's every color I had to pull for Grays Part 4. So these were the colors used in Grays 3. There were the colors in 4. And there was every single color I had to pull for Part 4 to make Part 4 happen, which is not a small list, especially when you're going through those 4 trays of palettes.
I'm amazed that you would do it on paper at all, but that is how your brain works, that you would do it this way and then transfer it to the laptop.
No, the information's already on the laptop. This is me writing down from the spreadsheet what I need to pull.
Right.
So that my laptop doesn't need to be sitting on my desk while I'm pulling from there.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
Like I've already written down by hand what I have to pull so that it's 1 in my brain and 2, I don't need my laptop.
Right.
I can have a movie on my laptop.
Okay, fair enough.
While I'm doing this.
Fair enough. I get.
All right. Number 10.
So much more than just a stationery video.
So much more than just a stationery video. You're finding out how my brain works.
It is a constantly evolving.
It's a constantly evolving thing. A pen that brings you joy to use.
Yes.
You like those? Graham is a fan of those Pilot pens. And I'm a fan of these. They're all pens at very different price points. I love that Grandma is a fan of 2 different Pilot pens.
Pink Pilots.
Pink Pilots. One I'm learning looking at it now is a Pilot V5 Extra Fine. And the other's just a Pilot V-Ball. She loves these. She loves doing puzzles in them. Like, they bring her joy when she gets to use them rather than a Bic. Like, but also the pen you reach for doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be something that makes you happy to use it.
Yes. So my Kavecos make me happy. I have to say my stub.
Yes.
This is my go-to.
You use it for everything.
I use it for everything. When I was doing menu planning for Christmas and pulling together my schedule for everything for Christmas dinner, everything happened with this pen. Absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm. And I have a huge selection of pens. The 3 I've pulled just happened to be blue, which was not planned. I just wanted to pull 3 different brands at 3 different price points.
Yep. So
Kaweco, Navler, Esterbrook.
Yep.
All fantastic pens. All bring me a great deal of joy to use. And like, honestly, this is...
What are your nibs in these 3?
Medium, medium, broad.
Okay.
Which is honestly pretty much my standard these days, I'm finding. Like,
medium or broad?
Medium or broad. I do have some of the more special stuff, but I'm leaning more towards the medium and broad. Mini Stub is probably my favorite specialty grind currently. Till I've got Matthew Chen's version of it on a Pelican, and then I've got I found out from Esterbrook that Kirk Spear did their mini stub nib.
Okay.
And so potentially at Chicago this year, I might get Kirk to put a mini stub on something. Maybe a Banu.
Ooh.
We'll see. But really, like, it doesn't have to be a fountain pen. If you don't like
just find something
just
you
find
like to
something
write
you
with.
like to write with. Honestly, don't write with something that makes you miserable. Life's too short for that.
Amen.
You know, if Grandma at 88 can be discovering that she really likes pink Pilot pens,
good for Grandma.
Good for Grandma, and it shouldn't have taken until she was 88 to discover there was more in life than a blue Bic.
That is true.
And if we can keep...
Or trade show pens.
Or trade show pens.
Trade show pen. Sorry, when I say trade show, I mean IT trade shows.
Yeah.
Where they just hand out
if we can keep her
pens.
Supplied in
fun ink colors.
Fun ink colors of Pilot pens. Good for Grandma.
Yeah.
Because she much prefers doing a crossword puzzle than these.
Yes, Grandma likes pink ink. All right.
All right. Did anything on the list surprise you?
I wasn't expecting to see the sanding eraser, but I do understand why it made the list.
Yeah.
So that was actually, the sanding eraser was my most surprising thing. And also probably the least expensive thing.
Yeah.
But very, very useful.
Those, I think the cheapest I saw them was at the Atlas Sidewalk sale when Tombow was there as a vendor and was selling them for $1 a piece.
There you go.
But normally they retail for like $2 or $3.
A top 10 item that comes in at $1 if you find it on sale.
Yeah.
Gotta like that.
Yep. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.
Happy 2025.
Happy 2025. The first Saturday video of 2025.